initiating this encounter, but then doing nothing with it. So the question sort of comes up as like, okay, well, why are you stepping in if you're not ready to hit? Do you know what I mean? Okay, this kind of defense is fine. All right, this kind of defense is fine. Your opponent kind of just not randomly, off their own accord, stepped in and attacked you without any interaction from you. At this point, defending is absolutely fine. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. We are here for another episode of this series where I take footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together and I give you some feedback, hopefully for everybody's benefit. We're going to look at the video that's been sent in in just a moment. Before we do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know all the YouTube magic. Get those YouTube ninjas out there. Let's get 256 gazillion people start kendo in the next 15 nanoseconds. All you have to do is like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below using the word kendo. Was the best kendo channel I've ever seen in my life. Something like that. And then the ninjas will know to get people to start kendo rather than getting them to start like volleyball or something like that. More importantly than that though, if you like the channel, if you like what we do, shop at KendoStar.com. It's a real win-win. Of course, I would say it's brilliant because I own the place, but KendoStar is the best kendo equipment website in the history and future of the human race. Don't take my word for it. Everyone agrees with us. Check out all of our reviews. We've got the best equipment, the best possible service. Don't buy twice. Buy right first time round and shop at KendoStar.com. Right. Okay. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these videos. I've been away, but we've got one to look at today. It's just one submission. If you have a submission you'd like to send to us, if you'd like to feature your video on here, all you have to do is upload the video to YouTube, set it to unlisted or public. Don't set it to private because I can't see it if it's set as private. Okay? And then send the link to me at mail@kendostar.com. Give me a bit of information about the video. Tell me which side you're on, what the context is, and all that sort of thing. And I'll know what I'm looking at, all right? And I will feature it on the show. I've done every single one of these that's been sent to us. So yeah, if you'd like to submit yours, that's how you do it. Right, let's have a look at this. This says, hello, Andy Sensei, I'm 45 years old and I'm preparing for a 4th Dan exam in October. Okay, there are 3 training sessions for the exam in this video. I'd be very grateful for any of your comments. In the 1st and 3rd GI, I'm on the right, and on the 2nd, I'm on the left. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we're starting off on the right, and then so you're on the right, then the left, then the right. Okay, so you're on this side over here. Okay, so before I'm going to hit play on this, all right, I'm just going to mention that we get a lot of submissions in this context, all right, getting ready for 4th Dan exam, because 4th Dan's a bit of a barrier for a lot of people. Because let's talk a little bit about what is the difference between 3rd Dan and 4th Dan. All right, the third Dan is really, up to that point, it's all about your technical ability, right? It's all about your technical, I don't want to say mastery, but your grasp of the technical aspects of kendo. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you making strikes that meet the criteria for Yuko Datotsu? And are you, shall we say, proficient in several areas of Kendo's technical aspects? This includes, obviously, various types of waza, things like that. I'm just wondering if we got the, if I can get the grading, criteria that is published, then I thought it'd be cool we could talk about that a bit before we jump into your video, and then we'll know, what it is that we're going against. So give me a sec, I'm going to pull that up. Okay, so this is the document. I've done a separate video about this, but I want to talk about it before we jump into your video, all right? Before we jump into your submission, because so many, we get so many submissions that are relating to this point. All right, this barrier between third dan and fourth dan. So this document is the standard guidelines for Dan Q examination from the International Kendo Federation. All right, it's super easy to find if you Google that. It gives you here the two main aspects of what you need to consider for this is in a way what the Dan examiners are looking at. All right, so there's the Huyo Kijun, right, which are the actual criteria, what you have to do, and then you've got the Chakuganten, which is what they're looking at in order to measure those criteria. So that's Article 16 is what's required, and then 17 is what they're using to judge that. All right, so in terms of Shodan, Nidan, and Sandan, all right, it's about the level of Kihon basic techniques demonstrated by the examinee. The examiner assesses whether the candidate has learned and correctly acquired the basic skill, all right? And then the Chakuganten on that is Shodan, Nidan, and Sandan, Chakuso and Reiho. So you're doing the proper, manners and etiquette, yeah? Are you wearing the kendogi and the boga and everything properly, yeah? And then correct posture, yeah? Datotsu are your strikes and thrusts in accordance to basic kendo techniques, and do you have the good spirit, all right? So essentially, can you make strikes with kikentai no ichi that fulfill the criteria of Yuko Datotsu valid strikes, okay? That is up to third dan, all right? So the key takeaway here is up to this point, it's all about you, all right? What you can do, all right? Your technical ability, and that's it, all right? And this is why people struggle with this hurdle getting from third dan to fourth dan, all right? Because as we're going to look at in a minute, I'm going to talk about it in a sec, but the emphasis shifts from just what your own technical ability is, and it starts to move towards how you can apply that to an interaction with another person, all right? So if we go back to the Huyo Kijun, the actual requirements, the central concern for fourth and fifth dan, and you'll notice they're the same, yeah, is the level of basic kendo techniques and advanced techniques, Kihon and Oyo, all right? The examiner assesses whether the candidate is fully acquired and able to utilize basic and advanced skills. So what this means is advanced skills means more than just the actual technical elements, all right, but the oyo, the interaction with the other side, all right? And in terms of the Chakuganten, what they're looking at here, it's the same criteria as Shodan to third dan with the addition of the following criteria. Now that's super important because this is a point that a lot of people miss, and I've said this before, but people skip this part and they only focus on what's required for fourth dan and kind of neglect everything before it, okay? So even though you could have brilliant semi and really good DI and really good opportunity, if your Kihon is in the dirt, then you're not going to pass because you don't have the technical ability. So it says here, the level of proficiency acquired in advanced kendo techniques, level of mental and physical discipline demonstrated, and strategic skills to control and win a match, all right? These are what need to be shown. So essentially, right, what we're talking about at this point for fourth dan versus third dan is you need to have all that technical stuff in the bag, all right? Kikentai no ichi, is you doing hits with fumikomi, all right? And is it synchronized properly? Have you got good spirit? Have you got good shise, good posture, good chakuso, wearing everything properly, all right? Good reiho, understanding of all that stuff, yeah? And when you apply that to an interaction with your opponent, is this, this is what advanced kendo techniques means. Is it happening for a reason? Some kind of reason, all right? Is there, is it random, or are you trying to execute waza based on the context of the situation? All right, that's the difference, okay? So not just I want to hit men, yeah, men, all right? But I want to hit men, so I have to try to figure out how to make a chance to hit men, and then I'll hit men, okay? Oh, it looks like they want to hit men as well. Well, in that case, maybe I will get them to hit men, and I'll do the Suriage men, or the Kaishido, or the Degote, or something like that, all right? Or okay, in response to my semi, they don't seem to be able to respond to it. So here's my chance. Bam! There's my big men strike. Yeah, I don't mean big men strike like this. I mean it still make a small strike. Don't be swinging the shinai over your head in the 4th dan exam. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. All right, so before, I've not even looked at any footage yet, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page so that when I start talking about it, we'll know where we're coming from. All right, but it's all about, are you applying your techniques properly to the context of the situation that's happening in the tachiai? All right, rather than just hitting out, you know, throwing out the waza that you wanna do. All right, throwing out the techniques you want to do. Okay, so with that said, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this video. So you're on the right hand side. Okay, we got an arrow there. I like that. Okay, that's great. Okay, I don't have sound on my side. There we go. Let me have another look. Right, so I'm gonna just watch from the very start. All right, here's what I want you to do first of all. I want you to do suriashi when you walk forward. All right? I know this is a really tiny point, but you have to, it said in this, didn't it? It said in this that the first section is a chakuso and neiho, right? And that's part of it. Doing the appropriate manners and deportment, all right? So when you do the taito and then you take your 3 steps forward, you're not walking, it's suriashi. It's ayumiashi with suriashi, okay? So you don't want to lift your toes off the ground like this, pam, 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 but slide, 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 okay? And dignified, all right? This way, all right? The match has already started at this point in a way, all right? Okay, so this first men is fine. It's a good men, actually. Good men. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Okay, this is fine. If you know, you do the semi and then they suddenly attack, you know, like this, and you know, it's a little bit unexpected to what you wanted. You don't have to like match their energy, you know what I'm saying? So this is fine. I'm cool with this. It's a bit much now. All right. So the thing is it's all right to do it, but if you do it too much, it looks like you're not prepared at all. All right. And the problem is as well is I've talked about this quite a lot in terms of like defending yourself or just not, or holding your command, not breaking stuff like that. That's all good and that's fine to do in the grading, but you do that when you're not in a position to, you know, react to them. But if it starts to get too much, it looks a little bit like you're switched off. Do you know what I mean? You should be, you know, able to deal with this. Okay, so the problem is here is like, one, was this the first one? I think this is the second one, wasn't it? Yeah, so we've had like 3 attacks in a row, I think now, or 3 encounters in a row where, so okay, right, I'm going to rewind a little bit on what I said here, because the issue you've got is like, okay, so you're applying the semi, but you're not ready to do anything. Do you know what I mean? So there's kind of, you're kind of stepping in, but there's not enough tame, so you're unable to react. Now, like I say, like once it's kind of fine. Oh, okay, he attacked me at the point when I wasn't really expecting it. But then after that, it happens twice more in succession. You know, and the problem is you're doing the semi, so you're initiating this encounter, but then doing nothing with it. So the question sort of comes up as like, okay, well, why are you stepping in if you're not ready to hit? Do you know what I mean? It feels a little bit like semi for the sake of semi, when that isn't what has to happen, you know? Like, I feel like it lacks. I hesitate to use this word because I don't want to mystify anything, but it lacks tame in that it kind of lacks like what can I say? Like, in Japanese, you'd say kintokan, which is like tension. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean that you look too. I don't want to. I hesitate to use the word relaxed, but I mean mentally relaxed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to try. You're there to hit them, right? So you have to try to create the opportunity. You can't just wait until you're ready. You have to try to control it. Now, of course, as I say, when they attack you randomly, or you're not in the position to, you know, deal with their attack, perhaps, then of course it's not good to just meet their timing and then lose a point. But here, I don't feel like a hunger from you to strike the ippon. It feels all very too relaxed, too laid back, I guess is the word. Hey, this is fine. Okay, good. Now look, from a technical and Kihon point of view, there's no problem. Okay, so that's good. This is fine. This man here, all right, he said you're 40 years old, all right? So he's similar age to me, right? The thing is, right, some people are going to hate on me saying this, right? Because it's like a little bit different to conventional teaching, yeah? You're too far away. You're not in your hitting distance. You can't hit from here. You know, you can't reach from here. Yeah, I know I can't reach from there. Yeah, you can't reach from here. And the thing is although you step in and it looks like you're closer, you're not, because your left foot stayed where it is. All right. So you've made your approach to hit whilst you're outside of your cutting distance. All right. I don't want you to think about my distance. I don't want you to think about that in terms of the relative distance or crossing of your shinai. I want you to think of it as that. I want you to think of it as the relative distance between your left foot and your opponent's left foot. And that's a much better way to think about it, all right? Because it doesn't really matter how much your shinai are crossing or how close together they are. What matters is how far you can leap forward. And if your left foot stays here, it doesn't matter how much you move the right foot forward. The distance you can jump forward is the same. It's exactly the same, all right? So here you've initiated a strike that's outside of your own cutting distance. Whereas what you wanted to do is from here, you needed another step in. You needed another small step in before you made this semi, all right? Because the semi is kind of good. I kind of like it, but you're too far away for them to want to hit you. This looks like a bit of a sasoi, right? Like you want them to hit you, but I don't think he's in that position to hit you. I don't think he's in the right frame of mind or in the. He could probably reach you, to be fair, but you're not in the good position for striking yourself. So don't feel like he feels under the pressure that he has to hit. If that makes sense. So the problem is because you've hit from such a far distance, can you see, you can't reach him. Yeah, he hasn't moved much. He hasn't moved back. He just moved down. But your strike is far too short. All right. So you're outside of your distance. You need to get that a little bit closer. All right. Your kamae is quite good. I like it a lot. A little bit of tension in your shoulders maybe, but it's not too bad. This is a good man. See, this is much better. This one is different, right? This one, the difference is here. The difference is here. You started the interaction at a similar point, but you started the interaction at a similar point here, and you stepped in, but he stepped in as well. So now you're much closer from the point at which you're about to launch your strike. Yeah, much closer, especially as he starts to move forward. You get this brilliant Dabanamen, all right? But that isn't quite what happened before, all right? That isn't quite what happened before, okay? I think this is a risky tactic to take the Dabanamen, if I'm honest with you, from this distance. I'd prefer to take that extra step and make a smaller fumikomi when I'm going for the banamen. For me, the banamen, you don't need to make the big leap, all right? Otherwise, what happened before could happen quite easily. This is all fine, there's no issue here. Okay, so that's the first one, okay? Now you're on this side, okay. Now you're on this side, okay. Okay, so remember, again, I want to just remind you on this suriashi on the way in, all right? Okay, this is fine. Okay, this kind of defense is fine. All right, this kind of defense is fine. Your opponent kind of just not randomly, but off their own accord, stepped in and attacked you without any interaction from you. At this point, defending is absolutely fine. All right, that's different to what happened before, where you did the semi, the opponent attacked as you would expect them to, but you were unable to respond. It's a very different context, okay? So this is the point where you want to, you know, if you're going to step in, you have to be ready to do something, all right? So it's a very different thing. This one is okay. The one from before is not so good, okay? I think, if I'm honest with you, I'd like to see a little bit more kime, which is like the bit between the strike and the zanshin, the bit that like, you know, it's the kind of spark that, you know, ignites the zanshin, if you want to know, if you know what I mean. So, you know, the like a little bit bigger voice, a little bit more energy in the immediate sort of moment after making the strike. It'll polish the waza that little bit more. This is good. This is good. But we want to lose this habit of running off at this point, okay? All right? This isn't a good position to be in, all right? Especially after Oju waza. You want to keep your eyes on him if you can, all right? It's fine. Like, remember, in the grading, you don't fail if you get hit, okay? You don't fail if you get hit. Now, if you get hit loads and you don't make any hits, it's not good, all right? But it's best to try not to panic just because you received the strike, okay? I don't think I've ever done a grading where I didn't receive any strikes. Okay, so this is the thing again, right? So you sort of step in here, but the problem what's happening is, like, this starts to look like you're stepping in, like, with some sort of intention and with aggression. Fine, good, no problem. But then you don't seem to have a plan. So then when they attack you, you just end up blocking. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not a great look, you know? It's not really how you want to construct your waza, yeah? If you're going to step in like that, you need to have a plan before you go in as to what you're intending or hoping to do, right? Especially as in this point, they sort of stepped in and then straight away, as soon as he started getting aggressive, you went on the defensive. So it kind of asks the question is, well, what did you step in for in the first place? You know what I mean? It's good, man. Technically, on a technical point of view, you're absolutely no problem passing this exam. Good voice, good man. This one's fine. I'd like to see you work a little bit on a technical point of view on your kote strikes. They're a little bit too much right hand. You see how the right hand lifts the shinai rather than the left hand whipping it out. Your right hand tends to lift it up and down. So I'd give a little bit of thought to that as well in your practice. Okay, so here we go. There's too much of this, okay? Too much of this. All right? This, like up to here, this is the reason, right? This is the reason I'm saying this, right? As a Shinsain, right? And this is the same in Shiai, Shinpan's gonna do this too. But as a Shinsain, you're gonna watch that and you go, oh, good. They're trying to bring something out, they're trying to create a waza here, they know what they're doing here. You know, you're putting the Shinsain in a state of anticipation, yeah? Ready to see something that you're going to show them. And then, actually, you weren't ready to do anything. So it's all a little bit disappointing, all right? So, in terms of the blocking, or defending, or holding the kamae, whatever, when they attack you of their own accord, that's fine, that's one thing. But when you get them to attack and all you do is block, it's not what we're looking for, yeah? See, it's happened again here. So it's just too much of it. It's too much. And don't get me wrong, right? We make mistakes. Sometimes we step in and things don't turn out as we expected, right? So we have to bail. You know what I'm saying? We have to kind of, we have to, you know, we have to jump ship. But it's just too frequent. Just too frequent. It's fine. This one's a bit different. This one's a bit different because they attacked you off their own accord. All right. But it would be nice for you to be able to deal with this, right? Because it's kind of obvious they're coming to hit. Right? So the problem is, right? It's kind of obvious they're going to come and hit you. So this would be a great place to whip out a Kaishido. Yeah? So there's it highlights a slight gap in concentration. Yeah? Because, you know, sometimes people attack you super random and it's really hard to catch the timing or the gist of when they're going to hit you, and that's the time then it's totally cool to sort of block, defend and stuff like that. But here it was a little bit predictable, so it would have been nice to see some kind of Ojuwaza here, to be honest, or an attempt for it. So this again, you see what I'm saying? Does it make sense? All right, you're stepping in like this and then they're attacking for you, and then sort of everything sort of dissolves. And men's fine. You know, the thing is I'd kind of, it's not a requirement, and one thing I don't like to do, I definitely don't like to say, oh, for this grading, you have to show this waza or whatever. But it would be nice to see a bit more Ojuwaza from you, because you are capable of applying the pressure in the semi to get them to hit you. But a lot of these opportunities are disappearing and are lost to you defending from. So, and what it conveys is a lack of tame, which is readiness to strike. All right. So I want to see more of that readiness when you step in, so that when they do hit, pam pam kaishido, pam pam suirage, or bam degote, something like that. And I know you've done a couple of debana men, but because the way that the debana men came about in the first one, like it was from a distance that was a little bit outside of your cutting distance, so it kind of came across as a little bit like of a gamble. Now, look, that's fine, because, you know, we're only talking about fourth dan, and we're not talking about, you know, like hachidan, something like that. You don't have to be perfect, you know. But still, you know, I'd like to just see a little bit more variance. I think your menhimo are too long as well. They've got to be less than 40 centimeters, okay? This is good, man. So look, as I said, you're technically, you know, very, very good in terms of your technique, yeah? You are absolutely capable of passing this exam. You're absolutely capable of passing the 4th Dan exam. I'm sure you can do it, all right? But I just want you to think about this concept of readiness when you make your approach to strike. Oh, there we go. See, like this. This is what I want to see. This is what we want to see, right? Here, this is a brilliant kaishido. This is what the kaishido should look like, all right? Initiation from you, great strike, good zanshin, all right? This is what we're talking about. So I wanted to see more of that earlier, all right? Okay, obviously it's not good to do the kaiten kaishido, where you turn around, but I won't give you too much stick for it because I know of a certain someone that accidentally did that in a 7th Dan exam recently and still passed, so I won't say anything. Good men, okay. All right, if you're gonna, the thing is, the kaishido is good, but you're starting to spam it. All right, you're starting to spam it. So I'd want to see that you are able to maybe do more than just kaishido at this point. See that again. Good. Okay. Right. So there we go. All right. You're going to pass this exam. All right. You're definitely capable of passing this exam. I've got no doubt about it at all. All right. But the main things I want you to take away from this, all right? Suriashi, when you do your steps forward, okay, to Sonkyo, all right? Here, not walking like this, yeah? I want you to do sliding footwork, Suriashi, all right? Well, not like this, but slide, okay? That's point 1, all right? Point 2 is we've got to develop this sort of kane in your kendo, right? So when you step in, you need to be ready to do something, and ideally you need to have a plan of what it is that you want to do. Now that plan might have to change, you know, because not everything happens as you expect, all right? Lots of things, most things don't, all right? But what you don't want to be doing, especially repetitively, is stepping in, getting them to hit you only for you to not be ready to take advantage of that, all right? So step in, if they make the strike, like you did in that last one, bam, bam, kaishido, all right? Or, bam, there's your debano men, all right? But what we want less of is this stepping in and then just holding the kamae or blocking, all right? It's not wrong to block in the grading, all right? But you can't just do that all the time, and it's not good to do it against a waza that you made them do. Yeah, is the key point there, all right? And the last thing, all right, when you are creating the waza, you are getting them to hit, all right? There was just a little bit too much of the same waza repeated, okay? So I'd like to see a bit more of a variation, all right? I'd like to see that if you feel like they're gonna hit your men, bam, bam, kaishido is fine, yeah? Up to twice, then if do a different one, all right? Okay, it's just a guideline. It's not a rule when I say twice, all right? It's just a guideline, and I'm only saying it so it doesn't look like you only know how to do that waza, all right? You want to be able to, at this point, don't forget, when we looked at the grading guidelines, don't forget it said there, everything, yeah, same criteria as shodan to 3rd dan, all right? Which means, yeah, datotsu and thrust in accordance with the correct basics principles, all right? So it means you need to have well-rounded basics, all right? That means a repertoire of techniques, okay? And there we go. it's a great submission. I definitely think that you're capable of passing it, as I've said several times. I just want you to take those points on board and you'll have no problem whatsoever. All right. Thank you very much for sending it in. As I said earlier in the video, if anyone else would like to send a video in for submission, I cover every single one of these. All you have to do is upload it to YouTube, set it to unlisted or public, just don't set it to private, and send it to me at mail@KendoStar.com. okay, and I'll definitely cover it in one of these videos. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today, everyone. See you next time. Shop at KendoStar, and bye-bye.